Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to the second episode of the Locust Performance Testing Series. And I'm very excited you're here for episode two. And thank you so much for your likes and comments for the previous video. So in our last episode, we talked about why performance testing matters and why Locust is such a powerful tool. So today we're going to get our hands dirty. So by the end of this episode, you'll have Locust installed on your machine and you'll have written and executed your very first load test. So let's roll up our sleeves and dive in. So firstly, talking about the prerequisites. So we have to start in, like before we start install anything, let's make sure that we have everything that we need. And firstly, you will need a computer running on Windows, Mac or Linux. So in our demo today, I'm going to show you how to set up this in a Windows machine. And in fact, I'll show it how to do it on a Mac in a different sometime, and even Linux as well. So Locust works on all three platforms, so you are covered no matter what you're using. And secondly, you'll need Python 3.7, and for that, Python 3.7 or higher. So now, if you're not sure whether you have Python installed, don't worry. I'll show you exactly how to check it in just a moment. And thirdly, you'll need an internet connection for downloading and installing the packages. And finally, you'll need about around like 500 MB or of free disk space, and that's not much by today's standards, so you should be fine. And let's verify if Python is already installed on your system. So let me open my command prompt, and in the command prompt, it's open here. Yeah, come on. Okay, so going to the command prompt, or even in PowerShell, or in Mac. If you're in Mac, you can go to terminal, or if you're in Linux, you know where the terminal is. And now I'm going to type Python minus minus version, and this will give me what version of Python I have. So if you see something like Python 3.13.7 or any version higher than 3.7, you are golden, so you can skip ahead to virtual environment section. If you see Python 2.7 or get an error saying Python is not found, don't worry, we'll install it together right here now. And coming back to Python installation, so head over to python.org. So going to python.org, click on the downloads tab, and the website will automatically suggest the best version for you. So now, in fact, we got 3.414, which is the latest version, and download the installer. See, you can download the installer and you can run it, and that's very simple, I believe. And the critical step is, I see people miss this all the time, so make sure you check the box that says add Python to path, and that is super important because that will allow you to run Python from anywhere on your command line, no matter where you are in your system. And you can install, click install now, and you can do it installation. And once it is done, again open your command prompt, open a new command prompt, I will say, and it has to be new one for the path changes to take effect, and type Python minus minus version again, and you should now see your Python version displayed. And for Mac users and for Linux users, I'll take you in a separate video. And coming back to the virtual environment setup. So now, before we install Locust, let me introduce you to one of Python's best practices, that is the virtual environment. So why virtual environment and what it is? So a virtual environment is like an isolated container for your Python project. It keeps all your project dependencies separate from your system Python installation. So why should you do it? This way, this virtual environment actually prevents the version conflict and keep things clean and organized. So think of it like, if your system Python is your house and a virtual environment is like a guest room where your project lives with all its own furniture, with all its own infrastructure, it doesn't interfere with the rest of your house, right? So now let's create a directory for your Locust project. I'll create mine on the desktop, but you can put it wherever you make sense for you. Open your terminal command prompt. I have my own location. I'll just go there, cd dot dot, cd dot dot, and cdtfs, and I'll create, because all my work-related item projects comes here. Let me do a ls, dar, and I can see all these items are here. Let me create a new directory, make dar and locust tutorials, and let me cd into my locust tutorial. And now we are inside our project tree. I believe you are following me with me, and you're in the right step. In case if you do not do, please do stop, pause the video, and then do it, and then come back to the next step. So let's now create a virtual environment. So for creating a virtual environment, I'll have to type Python minus m venv for the virtual environment, and then locust minus env. So this creates a new folder called locust env that contains your virtual environment, and now we need to activate it. And the same as I told you, I'll show you how to do it in Mac and Linux as well. But for now, after the next video will be for Mac and then for the Linux. So don't worry, for Mac users and Linux users, I'm going to help you. Without that, I'm not going to proceed further. And then on Windows, now we have to activate the environment. So locust minus env slash scripts slash activate. Yep. So now see, we are into our new environment, right? Um, as you see here, we have got the locust environment, and we are currently inside our virtual environment. In case if you get an error about execution policy on partial, you might need to run execution policy. So now your virtual environment is activated, and you will see the environment name in the parentheses, like you see here, the locust environment in the beginning of your command prompt. So that's how you know you're working inside your virtual environment. Now you are in the guest room. You're not going to disturb anybody in the home. So to activate it later, you can just type deactivate, but don't do that now. We want to stay in our virtual environment. At the end of this session, you can deactivate and go back to your virtual environment. But for now, you are good. We can do whatever items that we need to do in our virtual environment. And now let's install the locust. So all right, now for the moment we have been waiting for installing the locust. So with your virtual environment activated, this is incredibly simple. All you have to do is just type pip install locust. Yep, and give an enter. And watch the magic happen. So pip will download locust and all its dependencies, and you'll see a bunch of text scrolling by. And that's normal, don't worry. The installation typically takes like 30 to 2 minutes depending on internet connection. And when it's done, you should see a message saying successfully install locust along with the version number. Let's verify the installation worked when it is ready. And once it is ready, we'll have to type locust minus minus version, and we'll be able to see the version number. And let's wait for that. Until that, I'll give a quick pass and we'll join again. And now the installation has completed. So let's go back to locust minus minus version. And yeah, we are gonna see the version. So you should see something like 2.15. That's what I expect, or whatever the current version is. So if you see this, congratulations. Oh, okay, we've got 2.41, which is a higher version. Yeah, that's good. Locust is now successfully installed on my machine, and I hope you are also following this, or you should be get it installed. So now, while we are at it, let's install one or more useful packages that we will use throughout the series, and that is pip install requests. And now once we do this, so the request library makes HTTP calls easier, and we'll use it in some of our more advanced examples. Yep. So now let's set up the IDE. So let's set up our development environment. So while you can write your Python code in any text editor, and if you're using a proper IDE, that will make your life so much easier with features like syntax highlighting, auto completion, and debugging. And I highly recommend Visual Studio Code because it's free, lightweight, powerful, and works on all platforms. And if you don't have VS Code installed, head to the code.visualstudio.com. I'll just quickly show it to you. So head to code.visual. Let me just quickly do this. Code.visualstudio.com. Oh, come on. Yeah. And here you can download it for your Windows and you can install it. Coming back to the next one. So once VS Code is installed, open it up. So in our case, I have my VS Code installed. So I'm opening it up quickly and it'll get a new window. Yep. So I got my new window, which is ready for us. And click on the extensions on the left side of your window. And we'll configure it for Python development. So click on extensions icon and the 4 squares. Yeah, this is what I wanted you to see. So in the search bar, type Python. I believe I have already installed it, but let's do it. So just search for Python and install the official Python extension by Microsoft. So let me just click on it. Yeah, see, I have already installed it. So if you could see install, just click on the install button. So this is one with tens of millions of downloads. Yes, tens of millions of downloads. Yep, I'm right. So while you're there, I also recommend installing Pylance. Yeah, that's another important one. So Pylance. Now this is for better code intelligence, and though this is often comes bundled with Python extension, Pylance. Yep. Okay, I will let install that. That's good. So the reason part the item that we have installed. So Python is also installed. Pylance is also installed, and these are used for better code intelligence. Um, Now let's open our project folder in VS Code. So let me go to open folder and C drive, DFS, Locust, right? So Locust tutorial. Yep, I have opened my Locust tutorial folder that we created earlier. So here's an important step. So we need to tell VS Code to use our virtual environment. So press Control Shift P on Windows. So let me first select this folder. So let me go inside my Locust tutorial. And now let me do a Control Shift P, and this will take me to the virtual environment, and I'm going to type Python select interpreter, and okay, we have chosen it, chose it from there. So you should see your virtual environment listed in here, Locust environment. Yep. So let me choose that. And yep, so let me quickly reiterate. So what you have to do is press Control Shift P, Control Shift P, and choose the Python select interpreter, and then here you have to choose your virtual environment that is listed from here, and it should be supposed to be like .locust environment. That's the virtual environment that we created, and then the scripts, and then python.exe selected. So perfect. Now VS Code is configured and you are ready to go. So just to confirm, you have installed your Python, your Locust, and your Visual Studio Code, and you have set up, I mean, again, you have created a virtual environment as part of it, and then you have installed your VS Code, and you have opened the extensions, and then you have opened your virtual environments inside your Visual Studio Code. So with that, I come to the end of this video, and we will see how to write your first test, your very first hello world test using Locust in our next video. Until then, it's bye bye from Hasan and your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye. So don't forget to install all these and be ready for our next video. Take care and bye bye.